Hello, and welcome to another episode of The Hunter's Way. I'm Cody Hunter, and today's date is June 16th, 2020. Today's episode, I want to start off with a little bit of a personal story, and this ties into something that happened just a couple months ago. So, back mid-March, when the coronavirus thing was just kicking up and everybody was starting to get super scared about it, the stock market just tanked. Everything across the board fell sharply in just a matter of like a day or two. And then after that, it kind of bounced back to about half strength, leveled out, and we're still in June seeing everything try to recover. Among everything that fell was oil prices, probably the hardest since everybody's staying at home and nobody's driving, nobody's flying, blah blah blah. It even got crazy at one point where oil stock went into the negatives, which is weird. Don't quite understand it myself, but people would pay you to take oil off their hands, so that was a little bit nuts. Around that time, I myself was first getting into buying and selling stock. I was figuring out how it all worked, and I had put a little bit of my own money into the stock market, hoping that I would be able to gain a little bit while everything was recovering. Now, among all the things I was looking at investing in was oil stock because it had tanked so low. And I'm thinking, oh, hey, if I can get in on this now, once it bounces back, that's quite a bit of money for myself. But I stopped short of buying any oil stock because I don't think that is something people want to invest in if they want the future to be sustainable and they want to renewable energy to overtake the oil industry. I myself am very passionate about the environment, and so I figured if I'm investing in oil stock just to make money, I'm part of the problem that's ongoing. And so I didn't invest in that, and I put my money elsewhere into a couple different funds that focus on companies that do make renewable energy and all this other stuff. So, the reason I'm telling you this is because today's topic is about integrity. And I first want to start off by telling you the textbook definition of integrity. So what does this mean? Well, there's two definitions, and I'll just give you the first one for now. The first is the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles or moral uprightness. So, I've picked out three different topics or points about integrity to focus on today, just in the interest of keeping things short. So the first is this: if you want to be a person with integrity, you have to be honest. Duh, no brainer, plain and simple. It's in the definition if you look it up in a dictionary. And this obviously ties in to the topic from last week about leadership and not lying. Like, if you want to have integrity, it first starts inside yourself, and if you are going to act with integrity, then you have to believe that you are doing so, and if you're lying or not, obviously. So if you're not being honest, then how can you believe you have integrity with your words and actions? So that's the first one. Second is this: your morals have to line up with what is good for the most people. So, people can believe they have integrity just because they stick to their guns about certain topics. And, I don't know, maybe they do have integrity, but in my mind, it's not fully there unless the things that you're sticking by are doing the most good for the most amount of people. So, example with this, you go back to fairy tales and look at Robin Hood, right? Guy who steals from the rich and the greedy and gives to the poor and needy. So, obviously, stealing is wrong, and you shouldn't be doing that. And so some people could say, oh, he doesn't have integrity. But I think he does, because what he's doing, he's sticking by because it does the most amount of good for the most amount of people. Right? And so you translate that into real life, your actions might not be agreeable to everybody. They might not even agree with the law. And it's not like I'm telling everybody to go out and break the law, but you know inside what is right and what is wrong for people. So if you want to have integrity, you have to not only have morals that are good, but those morals have to line up with what is good for humanity. So before I give you the third point here, I want to give you the second definition of integrity, which is the state of being whole and undivided. So this is very important, and I think it ties in with my third point here, which is you can't be hypocritical if you want to have integrity. The reason why I say this is because part of having integrity is you need to call out wrong things when you see them. And so you can't obviously do that if you're not practicing what you preach. In being hypocritical, I think you are dividing yourself into two different people. The first being the morally righteous, which is what you're trying to tell other people to do. And then the other part is the flip of that, and it's not practicing what you are trying to tell everybody else to do. And so that's hypocritical, that's being not whole, and you are divided. So that's all I have to say about integrity for now. Obviously, I could still ramble on about this forever, but I still want to keep these videos short. Maybe I'll return to this topic again on a future video, talk more about it then. But for now, thanks for watching The Hunter's Way, and I'll see you next time.